So My Hero Academia has recently come out with a new season and I am so excited. I thought, since I was so excited about this, I would try my hand at doing a body paint of one of their characters. And so the character I selected is Uraraka. I started out here by using a white eyeliner to trace out the general shape of her suit. After that, I started filling in the areas that are white on the suit with a white paint. White paint takes a few coats to become more opaque, so I thought I'd start with it so it could have time to dry while I did other areas. So right now it looks like I'm wearing a big white bib, which it's not going to stay like this for too long, so don't worry. But I just thought that was kind of funny that it looks like a bib right now. Now I'm going to add in the pink armbands on each side. I just start out using a base coat to outline the different shapes because I'm going to go in and shade after. I just want everything to kind of dry out, and I'm kind of mindful of where my hand is so I don't smudge things as I'm going along. And her suit was kind of hard to see as I was doing it, so adding in the color helped me kind of see where things needed to be. When I was just using the eyeliner, it was a little difficult to know exactly where I wanted the different shapes to be because of the contours of my body and how the paint will affect that. So it just took a little bit of time, but right now I'm working on the collar and just kind of shaping out exactly how I want it to look. The collar in the photograph has like different trapezoid shapes on each side, but I didn't think that that looked good in real life. I didn't think that that was what a superhero would look like in real life, so I made it more circular, like a traditional collar on a super suit would look like. So I'm outlining the collar in black, adding some shading in the different colors of pink, the lighter pink at the top, the darker pink at the bottom, and I'm trying to kind of incorporate that trapezoid shape in the two different pinks to have it like come out a little bit. I was just kind of experimenting with different things. I think I decided on making both parts a little more circular just because it just didn't, it looked weird, but I have it coming out a little bit so to kind of reference that trapezoid shape, if you see what I mean. By that I just mean that the line separating the two different colors of pink isn't just straight across my neck, it kind of dips down a little bit to kind of reference that shape. Right now I'm mixing some black and blue together to create these lines that she has going down her body on each side. And I'm just filling in the shape that I have mapped out from the eyeliner portion of the video. But when I was doing it, I realized that they weren't looking right, so I kind of used my eyes as I was going along to make the shape look more like hers, having it come out sort of how hers does over her chest, and having the lines go in under the collar, which they weren't when I had mapped them in. After that, I'm just filling in underneath her little armbands, and that's the same color as the two straps. After that, I kind of play with the two straps to make them look more symmetrical. This was a little challenging to make them look quite right. They each have a little dip in them, and depending on how you're sitting when you're painting, the dip can kind of change, so I need to make sure I'm sitting correctly so when I'm painting and then I sit up straight, the dip isn't in the wrong spot. So that took me a little bit of time and a little bit of makeup remover and repainting to get right, but I think it turned out alright in the end. Now I'm going to start working on the buttons on her suit. So I kind of just put in a little general shape for each one. And then after I got the general shape of each one, I started working on the armbands. So I outlined them in black, and I separated them into two different sections because she has them separated into two different sections. I just eyeballed it, but I think that it looks pretty even. And then I added a highlight in the center of each one and just played with the pinks and the whites to make it look a little more three-dimensional. After that, I went back to the buttons and added some shading to them. I just shaded them like spheres, and I started adding some texture and wear to the suit. I did this through adding shadows by the straps on each side, so it looks a little more dirty, as well as bringing the suit to more of a three-dimensional area. I added some more shadows on the arms to kind of imitate the same idea, make it look more dirty and lived in. Then I took a glue stick and I glued half of my eyebrow. I'm doing this because her eyebrows are really itty bitty, and so I'm going to cover half of my eyebrows with concealer and mask them so it looks like my eyes are also really small. This was my first time doing this technique, but I really wanted to try it for a while, so I thought I'd start by just covering half of my eyebrow before I do a body painter look where I'm covering the whole thing. I followed that by adding some orange eyeshadow on the glued part of my eyebrow to kind of color correct the darkness, and then I put a generous amount of concealer over top of it. And I'm just blending that out with a concealer brush to completely hide my eyebrows and then cover that up with some powder foundation. After that, I left the stream briefly to pop in some brown circle lenses, which I got from pinkyparadise.com. Now I'm just doing foundation the way you normally would, just blending it out, blending it in with that concealer I had over my eyebrows, and making sure that my face is covered from blemishes and whatnot. After that, I'm doing my eyebrows. I'm kind of trying to follow the shape of her eyebrows. They're very small and they kind of have a little point at the end. So I followed that. Now I'm taking a white eyeliner and I'm doing my bottom lash line, and I'm extending my bottom lash line a little bit further because this is anime and you want your eyes to be as big as possible. So I'm giving the illusion that my eyes are actually bigger than they are by extending the bottom of my eye down even further. Now I'm applying some neutral eyeshadow colors, and I generally, when I'm doing bigger eye looks, I kind of do the same thing. Just, I kind of mix it up a little bit here and there, but it's like a warm brown on my lid, a darker color in the outer corner, and then just blending the crease with a little bit of, like a shade in between the outer corner and the lid, and blending it out with a light color into the brow. Now I'm just doing a cat eye, and I'm extending it down underneath the pretend lash line that I've made, so it looks like I have this new lash line made by the liquid eyeliner. And you can see it makes my eyes look a lot bigger. And I'm just playing with it here to make sure that both eyes are even. One of the eyes looked a bit weird, so I went in and just kind of fixed it up a little bit. After that, I added mascara, and I did some false eyelashes. These are also super important in making your eyes look big if you're doing an anime character or anything like that. You can see the difference just in that eye, how much bigger it looks from those eyelashes. The next thing I did was I painted in some pretend eyelashes on my new lower lash line. She has 3 eyelashes painted in her drawing in the anime, so I thought I would just add in some eyelashes as well. This also helps with the illusion of the new lower lash line you've created and makes your eye look even bigger. Now I'm contouring my face. I just did a basic contour. Her face shape is it's kind of similar to mine. I think it's a little more round, but I thought just a basic contour would fit her best. Now I'm adding a little bit of blush. She has these permanent rosy cheeks, which I decided to add in with body paint, as you can see here, but I thought I would also add in blush as you normally would underneath it to also just give my face a more rosy youthful appearance. So right now I'm looking a little bit like Pikachu, so I just worked on making the circles under there look more like ovals than circles. Now I'm just adding a neutral lip to finish off the face makeup, and I'm ready to grab my wig. This wig is from Rockstar Wigs, and it's a little too long. It was the best thing that I had though, so I improvised. I took some bobby pins and I did my best to make this look more like a bob. It's a little too curly, but I thought the bangs were right, so that was something. And I tried to grab the one strand on each side and make it the right length. See, I'm doing here, I'm grabbing just one strand, bobby pinning the rest up, and then bobby pinning that strand to make it look a bit shorter. So this was the best I could do with the wig, but I think it looks pretty good still. It would be good for a cosplay, obviously. This is not wearable for the day, but for a picture, it did the job. This is Uraraka from My Hero Academia. If you did like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Twitch as well, where I live stream the whole thing. All of my social medias are on screen as well as linked in the description below. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.